Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Dear brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, there are no words better than Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen as we kind of come towards this conclusion, the conclusion of a journey with the Quran, with the month of Allah on this earth. It just felt like it was just yesterday when we said this might be our last Ramadan, and the doors are about to get shut. And Allah knows if we'll have another Ramadan in our lives. So alhamdulillah, we're here. Allah blessed us to be here, and Allah steered us to come to His service and to pray to Him. It's a journey, dear brothers and sisters, we have taken with the Quran by the blessing of Allah, by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And not too long ago, I just want to share with you something powerful from Surah Al-Hashr, in which Allah says, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. Allah is summoning us to think and reflect upon the power of the sublimity of His word. Your brothers and sisters, Allah says, look at the biggest things that you think will never be shaken by something. The mountains, hard, stationary, they never move. Awesome, overpowering. Allah says, my words are so powerful, so sublime, that if they were to fall upon a mountain, it will shake the mountain. The mountain will crumble from being affected and softened by the Quran. So here we are in the 30th Juz, and my question to you myself is, have our hearts been softened by the Quran and the words of Allah? Or are they as hard as rock? As Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, some hearts are as hard as rock. But even within rock, you'll find some water flowing. I ask you, dear brothers and sisters, and may Allah make us leave the month of Ramadan with this question: what kind of hearts do we have? And are these hearts touched, softened by the words of Allah? Has it brought a tear? Has it softened us to go in the service of the creation of Allah? Has it softened us towards our families? Has it brought us closer to Allah, to be happy with the sujood? It's a journey we began, dear brothers and sisters, with the best of du'as. A du'a we say in every rak'ah. May Allah make us conscious of what we say. We say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Oh, Allah guide us to the straight path. Allah guided us to come here. Allah guided us to pray. Allah guided us to fast. Allah guided us to give for His sake. Allah guided us to take care of the orphans. Allah guided us to build His masjid. It's the guidance of Allah. And you're seeing this dua every rak'ah. Dear brothers and sisters, there's no blessing like saying, oh Allah, grant me your path, the straight path. And it's by your permission and your power that I go on the path. It's a bumpy path. Every single rak'ah we're begging Allah, oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. And it's Allah who taught us this dua. It's the most powerful dua you can make. You're repeating it in every rak'ah. And how many rak'ahs did we pray behind our shaykh? Count the rak'ahs. And you've said, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, don't make us among those who go astray. Because they're arrogant, they rebel, and we've talked about them. Or because they follow their whims and desires. Here we are, dear brothers and sisters, in the 30th Juz, having lived Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. It's a bumpy path. When we leave here in Taraweeh, life is difficult. And in in Juz 30, Allah is describing to you the summation, the summary, so to speak. As if to say, if you haven't paid attention to the story from the beginning, from Al-Fatiha to Al-Baqarah, from all the beautiful stories, I'm going to summarize for you. You know, in conclusion of any story, what happens? You've seen some action movies. Action speeds up, gets intense, there's like more shooting, right? Everybody's scrambling. This is a summary, that's it, it's concise. This juz, part 30 of the Quran is the crescendo. It's the climax. It's the conclusion of the story if you didn't get the lessons. Allah is summarizing in a very powerful tone, in very short, concise verses, what we need to remember from the Quran. Here it is, dear brothers and sisters. And what does it come down to? You heard it from the beautiful verse of our Shaykh, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. Posed in a question at the beginning of the juz about what are they asking and inquiring and debating. Dear brothers and sisters, if you look at all the styles of life and all the philosophies and all the religions and all the ideologies, they differ on what is the hereafter. Some deny it completely. Some say it is this. Some say it is that. Where would you get the truth? And Allah says, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ. What are they asking about? عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ. This book. Here's a summary of it. It is bringing you, O believers, the best news. عَنِ النَّبَأِ الْعَظِيمِ. The greatest news. What's the greatest news? You have to answer that question. The news of meeting Allah. No news like it. This path, Sirat al-Mustaqim, bumpy, difficult, it's taking us to the presence of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And you're going to see it, dear brothers and sisters. And Allah says they're asking and inquiring about An-Naba al-Azim, the greatest news that indeed the believer loves to hear. الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ. They differ amongst them. كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ. Nay, they shall know. You deny it, you shall see it. You doubt it, you're not prepared for it, one day you're going to wake up. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, dear brothers and sisters, says in the surah right after, Surah Al-Nazi'at, كَأَنَّهُمْ يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَهَا لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا. Dear brothers and sisters, remember the dream you had last night? In the dream you didn't think you were dreaming. You had no idea. But when you woke up from your dream, you might have thought to yourself, has it been a minute? Has it been an hour? Especially if you take a nap in the afternoon. You have no idea how much time has passed. But when you wake up in the morning, I awaken from my dream, I realized it was a dream. So what I thought was reality wasn't reality. But what I know right now is that it is morning. You have no doubt it is morning to you. Allah says that's exactly how you experience the resurrection. You're living kind of in a dream. And Allah says when you get out of it, you have no idea how much time passed, but you know this. You know it was nothing but part of a day. As if you were sleeping. And you woke up to the reality of the hereafter and you say, SubhanAllah, it's real. It is true. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the first words that come out of the mouth of the believers is Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah. And Allah says, dear brothers and sisters, Ya ayyuhal insan, innaka kadihun ila rabbika kadahan famulaqin. He's describing this path. It's not an easy path. He says, oh, human being, you're kadih, you're toiling, you're going to be laboring a lot in your life. Life is not easy. Seeking provision, taking care of your children, problems of people, struggling, fear, anxieties, distress, illnesses, name it, it happens. He says, guaranteed it's going to happen. Bumpy path. Kadihun ila rabbik. You're toiling, but you're getting closer and closer and closer until you meet your Lord. The end of the path is Allah and the door of Jannah or the door of the hellfire, dear brothers and sisters. No third destination. And Allah Azza wa Jalla beautifully, dear brothers and sisters, says about Jannah, uzlifat. Allah describes it with a beautiful word, that when you finally reach that destination with Allah Azza wa Jalla, وَإِذَا الْجَنَّةُ أُزْلِفَتْ. When the Jannah is brought near, Allah says, I'm going to bring you to Jannah itself, the climax, the fulfillment of all your dreams and all your wishes is going to actually come to you. As if everything that was far and distant in your wishes is going to come to you. You're not going to even go to it. It's going to come to you. That's the promise of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Again, dear brothers and sisters, who's looking forward to this? And hopefully the journey of Ramadan and the Quran has taken us closer to this realization. And Allah says in a beautiful surah that we're going to come to soon, وَالْعَصْرِ وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Your brothers and sisters, pay attention. Allah says وَالْعَصْرِ, and it's translated as time, poor translation. Asr, we say Asr prayer, right? What's Asr? Late afternoon. It's right before sunset. Asr is from a word in Arabic that says Asir, juice. When you squeeze an orange and you get the juice, it's what's left. So Asr, dear brothers, Allah is swearing by the time left, and there is no time left. As if the day of our lives, when we were born, started with dawn. And you know what time it is? Allah says it's Asr. Sun is about to set. Juice, you squeeze it, there's nothing left. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. He's swearing by this. Pay attention, he says. Indeed, then he says, here's the summary of the Quran, Inna al-insana lafi khusr. The human being is in a state of loss. What loss? Pay attention to this, dear brothers and sisters. Allah says everything you're doing is going to be lost. There's a condition. Your time is going to be lost. Your efforts, your work, your relationships, your dreams, your wishes, everything about you. Khusr. Guaranteed, Allah's telling you it's going to be lost. Like a business transaction, and you come to calculate your profit and say, there's nothing. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. He says, but, except. You want your efforts to count, your time, your energy, your future, for your future to mean something, otherwise you're lost. You're not going to find a future. Life is going to end, there's no future. How do you guarantee that your relationships, your future, your hopes, your dreams, going to be fulfilled? Allah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. You have to have belief in Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is the only thing that guarantees that every single striving that you have, every bit of sweat, every memory, every future, every hope, every dream, every relationship will mean something. And it's going to come back to you, inshaAllah. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Two things. You have to believe in Allah. Otherwise it's cut off. Everything you do is cut off, lost, wasted. Even if you think it means something. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And they strive with good deeds. Here it is, dear brothers and sisters. Our efforts here are inshaAllah to perform the deeds that please Allah. These deeds are the provision that we send forward and they're going to be waiting for us. And Allah says, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. When you come to that moment, when your life is over at sunset, and the day resembles your life, and the sun is going to set, and you're going to wake up from your dream, and you say, SubhanAllah, what is this? Instantly you're going to see all your deeds, all the things you've offered yourself for your hereafter, your investment, and all the time squandered, all the moments we've lost in this earth, that we turn away from Allah, that we turn down the opportunity to come and pray, to build the community, to build His masjid, to build our relationships with our families, to strive, to help people who are in need, to repair relationships, and to put a smile on the creation of Allah for the sake of Allah. All these moments that we were invited and we said, I'm busy, you're going to see them, you're going to be in pain. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ. I'll conclude with this, dear brothers and sisters. A couple of thoughts. Later we're going to read, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. You're tired in this life. It's toil upon toil. Where do you get the energy? Where do you get the sustenance? Dear brothers and sisters, the Prophet ﷺ labored. He had no weekend. Every single day was Monday for him. Hard work, short life. You have to strive and you get the rest in the hereafter with Allah Azza wa Jalla. So Allah told him, you're going to be tired during the day in calling people to Allah. When you're done with your labor, go be with Allah in your prayers at night. That is your energy, dear brothers and sisters. You're not going to be able to know even what's truth and what's falsehood. You can't have the inspiration, the power to move forward in life without the spiritual sustenance. And the spiritual sustenance comes from the worship of Allah. So Allah tells them, when you're done with laboring and work with people and they're going to tire you, come back and hit the rock. Stand and prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal. وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. And seek Allah. You'll never lose. Dear brothers and sisters, that's a powerful message of Allah Azza wa Jal. And beautifully in Surah Al-Fajr, we're going to have to remember this call. Here we answer the call of Allah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, the adhan. The adhan is a proclamation, call from Allah, and you answer. Say Alhamdulillah. And then Allah says, Hayya ala salah, come, leave everything and come. Dear brothers and sisters, that's an honor. Honor that you've answered the call of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. There's another call. He says, you see, you don't think this is much. Later, all what you're doing right now is to prepare you, to kind of ornament you, to decorate you for the meeting of Allah. Dear brothers and sisters, even your tribulations. You know what the tribulations are for? To cleanse us completely, to shower us, like your shower, so that you look good to be in the presence of Allah. Your patience is to prepare you for that. Your efforts here to prepare you for this. Your hajj, your zakah, you helping people, every single thing, as long as it's for the sake of Allah, is preparing you, putting on your nice clothes to be in the presence of Allah, to be in Jannah. The Jannah does not accept anything but pure. And Allah is purifying us out of His mercy and bounty. So Allah concludes the story, the ultimate call, the ultimate adhan. What is the adhan of the hereafter? Hear the adhan of the hereafter. And some souls will be answering, because they answered Allah. Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyatan, fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannah. Go look up this verse in Surah Al-Fajr, you're going to hear it inshallah. O soul at peace, O soul at rest. What a title, dear brothers and sisters. Most souls are not going to be qualified for this. O soul of peace, come back to your Lord. Irji'i ila rabbik. Do you think all souls will answer? No. Only the souls that answered Allah here will come back cheerfully. And notice the word mutma'inna. Mutma'inna means free of every rancor, every grief, every sorrow, every disappointment, every doubt. All of this will be gone. And here you are ready to be with Allah. And Allah says, فَادْخُلِي فِي عِبَادِي. Enter into the righteous company of the people that are blessed, the prophets, the righteous, all the great people. You'll be in their company. وَادْخُلِي جَنَّتِي. Enter into my Jannah, mine. Dear brothers and sisters, this is the time of Allah. And indeed, there is no power on that day but the power of Allah, and we'll be watching. And all we hope for, dear brothers and sisters, is that to be called with Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah. So when you do your prostrations tonight, and you make du'as in the month of Ramadan, and Allah knows maybe Laylatul Qadr is tonight, before the closure of the month, say, oh Allah, count me among the souls that you'll be calling back with Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah. Oh Allah, steer me, Ya Allah, to be in the service of your creation, to be among your righteous, to be among the people who answer your call here. Wallahi, dear brothers and sisters, make du'as and realize Allah will not fail you in a thing, for you are dealing with the most gracious, most beneficent. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path and count us among the righteous and make us among those, Ya Allah, who will be hearing your call. Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna, O soul of peace, return back to your Lord. So enter into my righteous company and enter into my Jannah. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.